dumating sa point na I didn't really know myself anymore because, yun nga, I wasn't like this before talaga. Hindi ako ganong tao. Hindi ako very negative. I was so positive with life. And like, ang daming ganap. So, ayun. Thanks for having me pala. Thank
Sure,
you.
sure. Thank you for being here. And anyway, I would like to thank you, for making time. And this is just going to be a short interview para you can rest and enjoy your
No worries.
Sunday.
Okay lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Conversations with JB. We are lucky today because our first ever guest is an events host. She's a model. She's Miss World Philippines 2016 second runner-up. And now she's Miss Universe Philippines 2020 Makati City, which means she will be representing her city in the finals of Miss Universe Philippines, which will be on October 25 already. So sobrang swerte natin na nagkaroon pa siya ng time for us. Let us all welcome Miss Ivanna Kamil Pacis.
Hello, JB. Hello, everyone. Again, thank you for having me. I'm so excited for today.
Me too. I'm very excited. Welcome. And I'm looking forward to an insightful discussion with you today.
Yes.
Before I even begin asking you questions, I would like to thank you again for making time for this interview.
You're
I know you're
welcome.
busy preparing for the finals of Miss Universe Philippines, and good luck, by the way.
Thank you.
And the reason why I decided to do this, nahinabol ko talaga, because I want people to know your story. Lately, I
Yes.
have been interested in getting to know people who are advocates of mental health, yet do not have a background in psychology. So I want to know your reasons why you decided to advocate for mental health. But before we go to that, how are you? How do beauty queens like you spend your days in the new normal?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, the first few months talaga of the lockdown was very, very hard. Yung nung nag-announce pa lang si Mr. President na we will be under a quarantine, sobrang medyo shocked ako nung mga times na yun. Parang I didn't really know how to adjust or to adapt sa new normal. But the past few months, everything has been better. I'm so thankful that my family is safe. I'm safe. And so far, we only go out if there is anything na necessary talaga to buy or to get, something like that. But we're trying to be safe as much as I can. And for the past few weeks, then I've been so busy preparing for Miss Universe Philippines, training for my catwalk, for my Q&A, and preparing the wardrobe and everything else that I need to bring with me for the finals night, because we will be isolated in the venue itself a week, I think more than a week before the coronation night. So I will be away with my family again for quite some time. So I really need to prepare a lot of things to bring as well.
Okay. Do we have a venue already for the finals?
So far, they haven't really announced anything yet.
Okay. Just like you were also excited, no? But it's good to know that you're making the necessary preparations. So, like you said, we are in a pandemic and we are following the protocols of the general community quarantine, no? So, how do you cope with this difficult situation?
Well, it's really, really hard. Parang ako, like what I said, it's something that I really can't deny. Na it took me a while to actually accept na there is a pandemic going on and that we cannot live the normal lives that we used to before. Like everything that we do now is very limited. As much as we want to see our friends or family, like everything needs to be planned well. Like you need to always be cautious and you need to follow the guidelines and protocols. Diba parang now, mas normal na tayo makakita ng tao na may mask kaysa sa taong walang mask. Diba? Parang now it's really new normal. And siguro at this point, I'm just trying to see the brighter side of things. Sometimes medyo mahirap siya gawin, but the mere fact that my family is safe, that I am safe, and that we're not sick, sometimes yung worry ko or yung anxiety ko of the virus itself is nawawala. Basta lang thankful ako na medyo because I also lost my job, and then yung income din ng family ko, 'di ba? Parang lahat naman tayo, we also struggled financially, but I'm just thankful na we are all safe. I think that's what matters the most talaga at this time.
I agree. I agree with you on that now. And
Yeah.
some of us are lucky that we have our families, no, to that could help us get through.
Definitely. And look, for some, yeah. And for some reason then, kasi for the past few months, I was reconnected with my old friends na I haven't really talked to for a while. Like my high school friends, my college barkadas, na hindi ko na sila nakakamusta. But yun nga, because we're all online for the past few months and that's the only thing we can do. I was able to reconnect with my old friends na I don't really get to talk to anymore. So that's, siguro that's the thing na naging positive then. One of the things na naging positive then during this pandemic was that I got to talk to my friends then, kamusta ko sila, how they're doing, ganyan.
Mhm.
And yun, now kasi 'di ba parang we're all equal, parang walang nakakaangat sa buhay ngayon. Parang we're all in the same we're all living in the midst of a pandemic. So lahat tayo nakaka-relate sa isa't isa. Walang swerte na hindi nakaka-relate sa COVID-19, 'di ba? Parang this is something that we all have in common sa lives natin. Kaya
Mhm.
nakakatuwa because I can really feel na when it comes to coping, parang I would always tell myself na hindi lang ikaw yung tao nakaka-feel ng fear or worry na what if magkasakit ako, ganyan-ganyan, di ba? Parang we all have the same concern sa buhay natin because we all live in the same world. So, yun.
Right. And that's also one of the reasons why we're doing this now, so that people can learn from your experience
Yes,
also.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So I know that like you said, no, medyo iba na yung parang there are a lot of limitations to what we do right now.
Yeah.
But please tell us what you do as a beauty queen and as a beauty queen in the new normal.
Something I want to share then before this quarantine, I'm not the type of person who works out. Like I don't go to the gym. I hate working out in general, as in. But then, yun nga, for the past few months, it was the first time ever that I bought myself a yoga mat, and then I would turn on the YouTube and then biglang nag-yoga ako, and minsan naman I do high intensity workout and stuff like that until eventually I fell in love with working out. Tapos sabi ko, wow, I never thought na parang Ivana would be even interested in fitness in general. So, yun, isa sa mga na-adapt ko lately was working out, which is something that I don't usually do nga before. And I think it made me realize na health is wealth nowadays. Parang I didn't just do it because I need to get fit because of the pageant itself. But at the same time, hindi lang ako nag-benefit from that physically but also mentally din. Parang it challenged me somehow na feeling ko before I can go to the gym or I'm not that strong enough but kaya ko pala at the same time. So, ayun, there are a lot of things. Kasi syempre, it's so hard to prepare for a pageant in the midst of a pandemic kasi yun nga, limited yung galaw nating lahat. But it's just nice na in this journey, kami ng mga candidate, with my co-candidates kasi, we have a group chat. So, every single, yung mga struggles namin, yung mga, girl, di kami makakomply sa ganitong hinihingi ng organization, or we feel like, we can't really do basically everything that we want. And ang ganda na I was able to share this journey with these girls, the other candidates of Miss Universe Philippines, because we're all in the same boat. We're all candidates of Miss Universe and we are all dealing with the pandemic at the same time, as well as other issues sa personal lives namin, ganyan. So yeah, it's really nice na it's a very unique journey as a beauty pageant competitor, kasi first time ever nangyari na ang haba ng journey namin as a candidate. 'Di ba usually
Right.
mga 3 months lang, but now half a year na kaming candidate ng Miss Universe Philippines. Kaya I'm just happy na it will finally happen na next month, October 25, na after the long wait, yan, finally matutuloy na
Finally.
din siya. Yeah.
Okay, and that's a good inside information also, no? Because we're expecting that when you're in a pageant, parang everyone's competitive. But now you said you
Yes,
rely on each
actually.
other for support.
Which is so important because most of the time talaga as a candidate, you feel like um lalo na ngayon, yun nga, we are in the midst of pandemic, you feel like you are not preparing well enough compared to other girls. But I didn't feel that way because we are all, like what I mentioned, we are all in the same boat and we
Mhm.
all feel the same way. Kaya parang we're all equal. Parang equal yung laban because, we all experience the same things. Kaya nakaka-proud din na we were able to pull off lahat ng mga preparations namin despite that. Lalo na yung mga
Mhm.
taga-province, 'di ba, mas mahirap din yung
Right.
yung life nila doon because the organization is based here in Manila. So ako thankful na lang din ako and blessed na I live near the office of Miss Universe. So hindi medyo hassle for me to go there every time may shoots, ganyan.
Mhm. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us, no? And I have noticed that beauty pageants have evolved, no, through the years and have transcended
Definitely.
beauty as a standard, no? Pageants are now looking for substance, for content from their candidates.
Yes.
So in line with it, so why did you choose to advocate for mental health, specifically suicide prevention?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really because it came from a very very personal experience, and I think it's also my way to share my testimony to a lot of people. Something that I was not vocal about for the past 2 years, and to start the very long story. Sige, I'll try to keep it in a nutshell kasi medyo mahaba-haba siyang usapan.
It's okay.
But yeah, almost 3 years ago, I suffered from anxiety. It all started from one day, one random day, I was having a Christmas party with my friends. And then I felt like my heart was racing and I felt like I was gonna pass out anytime. So, nung time na yun, I told my friend, let's go to the ER. Because parang rush me to the ER kasi I feel like something wrong is going on sa akin. Ganyan, feeling ko I was having a heart attack, na I can't breathe, ganyan, ganyan. Until she tried to calm me down. Parang, girl, tama ka na, ganyan, ganyan. And then we went outside the room. And then I had a few moments talaga to breathe, ganyan, ganyan. And then I became okay. So I thought na at that time, maybe I was just stressed or I was, kasi before that, I resigned from my job where I was sexually assaulted. So I felt like maybe it was a factor. Kaya I was feeling that way. I can't even pinpoint na at that time anxiety attack pala yung tawag doon. At that time I
Mhm.
wasn't really aware that an anxiety attack exists. Parang it's something I hear about it, but I never thought that it's something that I would experience. Kasi 'di ba before ang dami naman ng mental health campaigns here and there, but I would always tell myself na parang hindi ako makarelate sa ganyan. Parang I don't think I'm the type of person who would experience such thing. Parang okay naman ako mentally, hindi naman ako parang gano'n. So
Mhm.
I never really thought that it's something that I would experience personally. Kaya when that happened, I thought na it's just a phase na after a while it would just go away. But it did not for the past 3 years. It was a very constant thing na I get anxiety attacks, and yung episodes ko was as in every single day and every single minute. I had the habit of always checking my pulse, and I was so yung feeling ko na laging may deadline. Ganon, na parang I'm always if I have commitments or any events then I would go to, I feel like I was so limited mentally and physically kahit wala namang naglilimit sa akin. I just feel like there's always a deadline. And whenever I am in a crowded room, yan, it triggers me whenever I'm stuck in traffic. It triggers me whenever I simply go to the cinema. I would always look out for the fire exits. Kung if anything bad happens, saan ako lalabas, saan ako tatakbo. Like ganun siya kalala. And even with my work, it greatly affected my work because yung productivity level ko talaga was not good. Like, yes, I can still function, but at the same time, I wasn't really that focused enough talaga with work because my mind was overwhelmed with a lot of negative thoughts. I had a very bad thought patterns talaga, and I at that time kasi I didn't know na it was a mental health concern. I just felt like feeling ko I have a disease, like physical disease. Feeling ko whenever I would have a headache, feeling ko baka may tumor yung ulo ko, something like that. Or if my body, may mga body pains ako nararamdaman, I would always associate it if I have any, parang baka may cancer ako, ganyan-ganyan. But I never thought na it's because of my mental health that I have a problem with my mental health. Until yun nga, my sister, si Ate Kai, was the one who told me na, I think you're having an anxiety attack. And then she explained it to me, like the signs and the symptoms. And that's when I realized na, oo nga, parang it exists pala. And I did some research about it, and then yun, doon ko na figure out na wow, it's real pala. May ganito palang mental health problem now. It's very, very serious. And I was able to enter some of yung mga different platforms wherein you will see different people who have experienced anxiety. And then I thought kasi at that time, baka depression siya or something, but it has a very, very different symptoms pala or signs compared to depression. So yun, at that point, I really felt like I was stuck in a very, very dark place of my life, and I never really thought I would be healed. I never thought I would overcome it, because ang nasa isip ko at that time was forever na ako ganito. Until such time that I felt like I was so down na there was this one time na I was checking my phone, I was browsing my phone, yung mga old photos ko, and I would look at my old self na parang asaya-saya ako doon sa photo, nakangiti ako, I was so carefree, and it was something that I can't do anymore. Kahit yung mga simpleng, simple lang na coffee date with my friends, I can't talaga. And one of the things that triggers me is whenever, ito, napaka-random, if ever, kunyari, I have an old friend who would chat me, sabihin niya lang, kamusta ka? Hindi ko alam paano mag-answer. Parang I would always get so anxious every time someone will ask me na kamusta ka. Because for me, ang dating nun is that person is trying to check in how I am because they see something negative sa akin, or baka they see na parang hindi ako okay. So lagi akong defensive na, okay ako, ba't mo ako pinakamusta? Okay lang ako. Parang ganon. So yun, it was very, very unhealthy, very toxic thoughts, and my relationship with myself then worsened. And that's when I had some suicidal thoughts because I hated myself. I was so resentful sa sarili ko, and parang dumating sa point na I didn't really know myself anymore, because yun nga, I wasn't like this before talaga. Hindi ako ganong tao, hindi ako very negative. I was so positive with life. But then it happened, and I felt like if um if siguro I would end my life, baka alam mo yun, hindi na ako magsasuffer at all. Parang yung thoughts ko, I would never deal with my negative thoughts anymore if I don't exist na. So, ayun, may madaming times then before na every time I have an anxiety attack, I would rush myself in the ER, alone, na ako lang mag-isa. And every time it happens, wala namang nangyayari, pinapauwi lang din naman ako ng mga nasa ER. Because, di ba, when you go to the ER, hindi naman nila kakamustahin na, although they would know na they would be so surprised na bakit ang taas ng heart rate ko. Pero wala namang problems when it comes to my heartbeat, ganyan-ganyan. They would test me, blood test, ganyan. Lahat na ng test, nagawa ko na, na no one really knows about. Pero at the end of the day, wala naman silang nakikita. Wala silang na-discover. Nothing was wrong with my physical body. And yun nga, when you go to the ER naman, hindi naman na tatanungin na, kamusta ka ba? Ano bang kaka-stress mo sa buhay? Nag-iisip ka ba masyado? Diba, hindi naman nila concern yung mental health mo kapag nasa ER ka, diba? They would just test your body itself. So, dun ko din na-realize na it's really not a matter of yung negative or something wrong with my body. It's not that talaga. It's a mental health concern and problem. And at first, I was so in denial kasi nga, you know naman, the stigma here in the Philippines, diba? So, I kept it sa sarili ko. I wasn't so open with my family and my friends because at first, I can't even understand what I was going through. So, paano ko pa siya i-describe sa ibang tao? Ako nga, hindi ko talaga siya ma-describe. Alam mo yun, parang if other people would say na they are experiencing anxiety, parang for me kasi when you say anxiety, it's a life and death situation for me. Parang it's so deep. It's deeper than, yun nga, di ba sila keeping up with the Kardashians, yung, I'm like having anxiety right now, ganyan. But for me, anxiety is a life and death situation. It's so, so deep. Like the meaning of that, di ba, excessive worrying. But for
Right.
me, it's far deeper than just worrying itself. Parang it's like having a cancer na I feel like I would never heal from. Kaya ayun. So, until such time, I was able to connect with, kasi I'm a born again Christian and I go to Victory Fort. And then when I consulted some of our leaders there, they offered me to undergo counseling. And it was such a great help. At first, I was so hesitant pa to do counseling kasi nga feeling ko, hindi okay naman ako, hindi ako kailangan i-counsel. Yun nga, kasi parang dinedeny ko pa na something was wrong with me So sabi ko, bakit nyo i-counseling? Baka naman hindi naman makatulong yung ganyan-ganyan. But then, when I made that first step, yung opening up talaga to someone, it really helped. Parang for me, it was one of the greatest things na contributed to my healing. The moment na I was seeing a counselor and telling me na what I'm going through is something serious and I can't turn a blind eye sa kung ano mang nararamdaman ko. Like, I really need to face it. Because yun nga, I was so in denial. And because of that, and also with the help din of my family and my friends, I was able to overcome it. I'm not gonna say na nawala na yung anxiety attack overall. It's just that right now, if I know na I would have an episode again of anxiety attacks, I know na how to manage it. I know na how to deal with it. So if may mga times na nafe-feel ko na naman na parang I can't breathe, ganyan-ganyan, I know na what to think other than before na I always try to give in talaga na, as in yung mag-freeze talaga ako, feeling ko paralyzed ako, hindi ako makagalaw, ganyan. But now, I know na how to, I acknowledge it. So, may mga times before na pag anxiety attack ako, I wouldn't really acknowledge na it's an anxiety attack. I would think na something is wrong with my body nga, my physical body. But now, pag nag-start na siya, I would tell myself na nag-anxiety attack ka, girl, okay? So, and until such time na, na parang it's a normal thing na for me na it doesn't really consume me. Unlike before na once, pag morning pa lang nag-anxiety attack na ako, hanggang gabi, ganun na siya. So now, I learned na how to manage it, how to deal with it, and not be consumed by my own negative thoughts also. So it was really a great help. And that's what I really advise sa mga people, to other people and my friends also who experience anxiety, na just look for at least one person who can listen to you. Kahit hindi nila maintindihan or feeling mo hindi nila mag-get sa situation mo, it's really a great help just to voice out yung nararamdaman mo. Kahit hindi mo exactly ma-describe, but it was a relief for me the moment na I was able to open up. And especially I was so active in social media na for me, no talaga yung magpo-post ako about anxiety, ganyan. As in, no siya for me. But until such time na I got to a point na I really wanted to share what I was going through. And from that moment, doon ko na-realize na ang dami na nag-message ng mga friends ko na, hala, ako din, nag-experience din ako ng ganyan. So doon ko na-feel na, ay, hindi pala ako alone. Because I always thought na ang abnormal ko naman, na parang feeling ko ako lang yung katangi-tanging tao sa mundo who has experienced anxiety. Pero hindi rin pala, napakadaming tao rin pala sa mundo. And that's when I felt like I still belong. I still belong in this world. So, yun, hindi ko na-feel yung I wanna end my life or I just don't wanna exist anymore because it's a part of life na I really needed to accept na it's never going to be perfect talaga.
Okay, right. So the thing with anxiety is it affects almost all, no, if not all aspects of your
Yes.
life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's good to know that you are in a better place right now because of the help
Yes.
that you get
Mm-hmm.
from your psychologist probably and
Mm-hmm.
your family and friends. And I know
Yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
mental health, no, going through anxiety and having suicidal thoughts are very sensitive topic, no, and it's
Yes, it
difficult to
is.
open up
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's not easy, but thank you for sharing your story. We hope that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people can learn from this experience, no. It's always the first step that's the most difficult to do. right? Taking the
Yes,
step to
actually.
open up.
That's true.
Right. But just like in your case, no, it's helpful in the long run if you open up and seek the
Mm-hmm.
necessary help.
Yes, exactly. Yun din before kasi I was so scared because I also can't describe how I would feel. I mean, how I felt at that time. So, paano ko siya makikwento if ako nga, I can't even describe or explain how I was feeling. Kaya, nung time na yon I was able to um start, I was able to start opening up sa mga friends ko and my family also. So doon ko din na-realize na hindi rin pala ako nag-iisa, na hindi rin ako yung katangi-tangi taong nag-anxiety attack. Parang ang dami pala, and it's a part talaga of our life, and it's just the matter of how you deal with it and how you manage it, na it's not an overnight thing. Ang dami kong sleepless nights talaga. One of my triggers then before is sleeping in a very, very dark place. Yun yung triggers ko before. So I was having a hard time sleeping. I can't sleep na wala pang araw. So yung mga ganong scenarios ko before was really hard, and I never thought na I would overcome it because it felt like a cycle. Kasi ang tagal ilang years ko siyang ilang years ako nag-suffer from that, and like what I always tell people, na it's not an overnight thing. It's a process. It's a long process. It depends sa'yo, but it will be worth it. Just keep on going. Kasi ganun talaga But one thing's for sure, matagal man or mabilis yung process, but one thing's for sure, you will be healed and you'll overcome it for sure.
Okay, thank you for that. And it's a great story how you turn things around, no, from being someone who's suffering from mental health problems, no, from anxiety, and now
Mm-hmm.
becoming someone who advocates for it. So, how do you advocate for it, and what do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like this, yung mga ganitong talk right now, especially because we weren't able naman to have conferences and stuff like that. So everything is virtual nowadays. And I try to maximize, I don't have a huge following on my social media, but I try to maximize my reach. And as long as, like what I always say to myself, na as long as I get to at least save one person from dealing with suicidal thoughts, I think I have done my job na as an advocate for it. And I always try to reply din sa mga tao or sa mga friends ko who would ask for advice, or yung gusto lang magkwento na they also experience the same thing as me. Being a listener din sa mga taong to was something kasi na I never had. So I really wanted to be that person na makikinig lang sa kanila and would understand how they feel. Na kahit naman hindi ka mag-advise or anything, kahit hindi ka magsalita, parang 'di ba? It's such a huge help for people who are dealing with mental health. And um the moment kasi na I was dealing with it, I really needed to change my lifestyle. Hindi lang talaga yung mental, kung may thought patterns ko, it wasn't just that. I really needed to change my diet, to change the things, or the food that I consume. I had to quit coffee, ganyan. Kasi I was able to meet a dietitian who treats people with mental health. So if you have a mental health problem, yung ngayon parang brain-gut connection na what you eat kasi also affects your mental health. So she advised me to quit anything that would make me feel bloated, like yung excessive na sodium and anything with caffeine. I really needed to quit. Ako pa naman, I was a coffee lover before. So, mahirap sa akin na hindi mag-coffee, but I have to do it for my mental health. And not just that, spiritually, parang if yung faith mo, if you're someone who values your faith, you also need to reconnect with the Lord. Ano pa ba? You really need to, socially then, you really need to discover then the real people sa buhay mo. Yung mga friends mo na kaya kang i-accept. Because at that time then, I also was able to remove the toxic friendships and the toxic relationships. Yung mga taong hindi nakakatulong at mas nakaka-contribute pa sa anxiety ko. I really needed to get rid of those people who judged me for whatever I was experiencing, and people who never really accepted who I am. So, medyo blessing in disguise talaga yung nangyari sa akin, because dun ko na-discover yung real friends sa hindi real friends. So, kahit masakit sa akin that I really need to kumbaga, to remove these people sa buhay ko, this particular people sa buhay ko, it was really hard kasi these people are my friends na for a very, very long time. But because parang mentally, they don't really help me get better, I really needed to adjust talaga and remove them sa life ko kahit na sobrang hirap. And yun, it's a very holistic process kasi when it comes to dealing with mental health. Hindi lang sa isip mo yan, parang it's connected sa different aspects of your life. Kaya yun, you really need to change your lifestyle. Like overall, you need to change your lifestyle. If ako before I enjoy going out. I'm very outdoor person talaga, but I have to change that because I know na it doesn't help with me getting better. So yun, I had to remove, hindi naman completely, I still go out, but yung mga old habits talaga, yan, I really needed to adjust along the way.
Right. I agree with you. It's really a lifestyle change, no? And it's good to know that you are taking proactive steps to help your mental health. So, I like what you said. It's not really the numbers, when you try to advocate for mental health, but the impact that you have on a person's life. That's what really matters.
Yes.
So we have been highlighting the importance of mental health of healthcare workers, teachers, but how is mental health relevant to your work as a beauty queen?
Well, it's very relevant because at the end of the day, us kasi as candidates, we still deal with a lot of pressure, since we are considered na as public figures. We always get criticized. We have bashers. It's so normal, diba? A lot of people really look up to us, and there's a certain pressure sa ganong manner. But it's very important because yun nga, a lot of people kasi only see beauty queens na parang masyado silang, parang hindi na sila tao, ganyan. But we still have our bad days, and we are still normal people. And ang saya because here in Miss Universe Philippines, it's not just me who also advocate for mental health. I think we are parang 4 ata kaming girls who are advocating for mental health, which is good because I feel like we are trying to advocate for it sa community namin. Firstly, sa community namin, the people around us, and to be able to voice out yung advocacy na yun in Miss Universe nang hindi lang one girl, parang madami kami who are advocating for it is good enough. I feel like yun nga, it's the mental health campaign kasi will never end because I feel like lahat tayo nakaka-experience niyan, beauty queen ka man or hindi, 'di ba? Normal people ka man or a celebrity or a politician, you will be experiencing a lot of mga mental health problems. And yun, siguro kahit na you're someone na you think na hindi mo ma-experience yung mga ganong bagay, I always believe na it's also your responsibility to be aware of things like this because you'll never know kung sino yung mga tao na experiencing mental health problems or any concerns sa mental health, diba? Parang kung ikaw hindi mo na-experience yun, at least you can be an instrument then to help someone get better or to be healed. Kasi yun, we'll really never know. And it's just sad na yung stigma kasi of mental health and seeing a psychologist here in the Philippines is as harmful as the disease itself. So kung parang hirap tulungan ako, parang I really find it difficult to help yung mga tao because ang kailangan muna natin to deal with first is the stigma. Yung stigma talaga na ang parang feeling ko mahirap pa siya basagin. Alam mo yun, parang no matter how a lot of people campaign for it, when you really go to sa mga provinces, lalo na, parang they still are not aware of it. So, yun, I think a huge part of it should be led by our government because hindi din lahat ng tao afford makapag-consult sa psychologist. Diba? Kaya parang sabi nila, ang depression daw ay sakit ng mga mayayaman. But I feel like because they can afford to see a psychologist. But what if yung mga normal na tao who lives in the slums, diba? They baka never in their life they would even meet a psychologist, even if they don't know that they need it pala. So, ayun, it's really all about breaking the stigma talaga of mental health.
I agree. That's a sad reality, na mental health services can be very expensive. but we do hope that the little things that we do as advocates, can
Yes.
inform the government that there's a need to allocate more budget and prioritize mental health services.
Yes.
So we all have different ways of taking care of our mental health now. So kanina, you were able to share a few, but maybe our audience can learn from you also. No, so how do you take care of your mental health?
For me, kasi before I experienced anxiety, I was very carefree, I was very outgoing. But whenever I experience stress or anything na bad sa buhay ko, I don't really deal with it. I try to skip it. Parang as much as I can. Parang ayoko ng negative, ganyan. Parang sa sobrang I resented yung mga negative things happening to me, mas nagiging worse pala because I never really got to deal with it. So now, every time na something bad happens to me or my family, I try not to ignore it. I try to really face it talaga because parang the moment you start dealing with it kasi mas na-exercise mo din yung mental health mo kung gaano mo kaya i-handle yung situation. And yun nga, it's also a realization for me na life is never going to be perfect. And ako pa naman, I have a tendency na I'm such a control freak. And kung hindi nangyari yung whatever is in my mind, I feel like parang wala lang kakwenta-kwenta yung bagay na yun. Parang it has to go my way. But in reality, hindi naman ganun lahat ng bagay, diba? Katulad ng pandemic na to, diba? It's, ang dami nating plans sa buhay natin na hindi natin nagawa because of the pandemic itself. But, the realization is life will never be perfect. Siguro yun yung one of the biggest realizations that I really needed to have sa buhay ko, like in my core, na I have to accept na my life will never be perfect and na parang hindi pwedeng hindi ako magkakaroon ng problem sa buhay ko because that's the reality. But at the same time, kahit na may mga problems ka, know that those are just temporary, and dealing with it will also help you then to overcome it, because kung i-ignore mo siya or you'll try to skip that, it will only worsen you. Like, it will also worsen the situation itself. So, coping up with all the negativities that happens to me, I just want to, now parang I prefer dealing with it talaga than ignoring everything. And I try, siguro because I was able to know then the real people who truly loves me, who genuinely love me and really look out for me and for my welfare. I try to, hindi daw sa nag-start akong pumili ng mga kaibigan or something. But at some point, I became more conscious sa mga taong nakakausap ko. If these people are not helping me with my mental health or not improving yung mental health ko, then I won't really involve myself sa mga ganong tao. And ano pa ba? Siguro try to embrace your hobbies, kasi ako at that time ang dami kong ginagawa before na nag-stop because I had my anxiety. I used to write mga poetries, ganyan, but then I stopped because I was so unmotivated because of what I was going through. But then the moment na I started writing again, it's one of my tools talaga on getting better at that time. Yung getting back to my old hobbies that I truly love and enjoy, na when you do it talagang kahit na you had a bad day, as in mag-light up talaga yung aura mo because you're doing a very, very special hobby of yours.
Thank you for that. No? So it's changing the way you think, no? Changing perspective, improving your thinking pattern. And I think we should not be guilty, when we are careful with who we surround ourselves with, the people around us. So, wow, I'm a mental health professional, but I have learned a lot from your experience. And I'm sure a lot of people can also learn from this, So, do you have any message to your supporters, to fellow mental health advocates, and maybe those who aspire to be a beauty queen just like you?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone who has been supporting my journey in Miss Universe Philippines. It's just very overwhelming because I really never thought na that specific phase of my life would turn out pala as my purpose of joining a beauty pageant again after so long, because I joined Miss World Philippines before, and that was 4 years ago, and now I'm back again joining a beauty pageant. And now I think I have been more matured, and yun nga, who would have thought, di ba, na ako din, siguro looking back, if I tell my old self na, alam mo, one day you'll advocate for what you're going through. But I would never believe myself, because I have always convinced myself na you'll never be healed, di ka nagagaling, stuck ka na dyan. But then I did, with the help of a lot of people around me. So, I'm just glad na I was able to bring out a very, very beautiful purpose from that very, very dark phase of my life. And if you are someone who's experiencing depression or anxiety or any mental health concern, always believe that you will be healed. Always believe that you will overcome it, because you will. Because you will. Parang now it doesn't make sense. Ako din, before, I would hear testimonies of people who have been healed, na sabi nila, kaya mo yan, you'll go through it, you'll be healed. But I don't really believe them. But now that I'm at this point, totoo nga talaga na you will be healed. Ang galing, no? Parang, it's just because you belittle yourself so much and your capabilities. But then you are more than your disease. You are more than what you are going through right now. And if you just accept then the fact that you value sa earth na to, that the people around you needs you, that your friends needs you, this world needs you. Kaya just hold on, kasi hindi pa ano ba, hindi ka lang masa-stuck dyan forever. And I hope na you always find at least one person that you trust, and someone who truly loves you talaga, na will hear you out whenever you really need to make kwento, or you are experiencing yung mga negative thoughts, na someone lang who would be there. Parang accountability din siya. That's very important. And don't, siguro don't, kasi ako as a Christian, I can't really recommend na, di ba lahat naman tayo, iba-iba ng types of how we cope with our mental health problems talaga. Iba-iba naman. There are people who's so open sa medication. There are people naman na hindi. Na I think you just need to find where you are most comfortable at when it comes to your healing process, because iba-iba naman siya. And parang God created doctors, the professionals, ganyan, mga psychologists, for a good reason. And it's because sila yung makakatulong sa atin in this journey. So let's not belittle that. And as long as we want to get help, let's do it. Nakakatakot siya, I must say. It's not that easy, but sometimes you just need to force yourself, kasi you'll never regret the day or that moment na you have opened up, because that's the first step talaga towards healing. And ayun, I hope and I pray that my testimony is something that you will be inspired of. And yeah, you can message me on Instagram. It's at Ivanna Pacis _. It's so funny nga, kasi there are times na I would post about mental health, and then a lot of people would message me na mga nag-therapy na sila. Yung iba naman parang parang sila na rin yung kumaga nag-a-advise sa mga friends nila na undergoing mental health problems. Kaya nakakatuwa. And I really want to create a community, a very, very healthy community of people who are experiencing it, because yung sense of belonging kasi yung huge factor, di ba, when you experience things like this. And if you found a very, very good community group of people who will support you and motivate you along the way, then that's also a good step for you.
Okay, thank you for that, Ivana. And thank you for recognizing that we all cope differently. It's very important, but we can also learn from each other, right? Now I understand why you advocate for mental health. You're coming from a very personal reason. So again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And big thanks to Miss Kai Pacis de la Vega, the big sister, for making this interview possible. And thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please put your suggestions in the comment section, and you can also include your messages. If you want to wish Ivana luck in the finals of the Miss Universe Philippines, So please take care of yourselves, not just your physical, but your mental health too.